All right. Wow, it has been a long time since I posted a video on this channel. But with a project like this, I just have no choice. I have to make time and make a video. So that's what we're doing. This is my buddy Joe's Karman Ghia. He came up with a few renderings and he liked them a lot. And he asked me if I would maybe try to add my own personal touch on it. This is going to be a combination of like a cartoon car vibe and kind of like a classic Volkswagen lowrider style paint job. That really classy look, a few hard lines, some artistic color blending from darks to lights. I have a rendering. I'm going to try to follow it as closely as I can, but I am going to add my own little personal touch on it. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's go ahead and get this party started. Okay, after almost a full day of masking everything off and sanding things down and removing the bumpers and everything, the sun is going down and I'm just now starting to paint. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is harder to brainstorm than I thought it was gonna be. Okay, so I laid down this yellow first, and then over top of that, I sort of misted on a little bit of this darker, more lime green. Just because I didn't want it solid yellow, I wanted it to just have this sort of like soft sort of look to it. Because on the outsides of each of these stripes is going to be a hard black line with a little bit of shadowing underneath of it. So I wanted the main stripe itself to just kind of like this neon greenish glow to it. So now I'm going to pull off the tape and see what this looks like. Oh man, it's going to look snazzy. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So now what I have to do is come in between these yellow lines and clean up that green, make it a nice solid green. Once that's done, then I will go ahead and add some shadow underneath each stripe to make it look like it's popped off the paint a little bit, and then outline them in black. Look at that. Woo! I'm pretty happy with that. It's really coming along now. It took quite a long time to figure out what I'm doing, but I think that line work works really well with the shape of this car. Okay, well, so moving on to the driver's side. I've actually been gone for a little over 2 weeks now. I went to Cape Coral to paint a wall mural for a business down there, a friend of mine's business, and stayed down there, so I didn't have any time to work on this for like a 6-day period. And then I came home for only 2 or 3 nights and got packed up and went to the Florida Keys for another like about 5 days or so. And now this is day, I don't know, like 2 or 3 after getting back from that trip, and I'm trying to get this car knocked out. Okay, so I got the whole entire design matched up to the passenger side, and I got it all masked off with tape. So now all I got to do is run the base green that I've been using on the rest of the car over top of all this. Once that is cured, dried, then I'll go ahead and pull this masking tape, and we should have a pretty close replica to the other side. All right, I got all my highlights in over top of my base screen while everything's still masked up. So I got all the highlights on the same spots as the other side. And I'm coming up here, and I decided instead of doing a stripe down the middle, I'm just going to try to replicate this similar shape that's on the front end here. I'm gonna put it on the roof. All right, well, I'm letting the roof dry. Just coming around here and just doing like some finishing touches with spray paint. Make sure I have like a nice even glow around the light. All right, this side is now, excuse me, this side is now ready for a little drop shadow underneath of my masked lines. The time has come. The most satisfying time of this entire process. Peeling the tape and hoping for the best and hoping that this matches the other side very closely. Okay, so I moved the car into the garage because it is just way too hot underneath that carport. Get a little bit of shade, helps it out a lot. Since I moved it in here, I've finished the roof line work and some different shading, different greens through here just to give it a little bit of character. So we got the hood, the roof, the sides are all done. Now I'm focusing on this trunk. I'm gonna basically take this large blob of yellow here, thin it down into some line work just to match the roof and the hood, tie it all together. Once that's done, then I'm going to start taking my black paint pen, going around this whole car, hitting little areas, some of the body lines, some of the outlines of these yellow stripes, and we're basically going to get this thing finished by tonight. So now on to the more fun part. Getting some black lines randomly placed on this car. Well, not necessarily randomly. I know basically where I'm going to put these black lines. I'm going to outline these yellow stripes that I placed with the black. And then I'm going to just kind of go in random places and hit this with a little bit of black paint pen lines to give it that real like sketched comic book type of look. It's really going to finish this off. And I'm even going to go in with a little bit of white and pop a little bit of white here and there, just almost like a little highlight color. Hard to explain, hard to do, but hopefully you'll get the whole gist of it when I finish this portion. After that, we clear coat. Since people have asked me in the last video that I did this, I am using permanent paint marker by Montana Colors. It's the same brand that does the spray paint. These come in different style tips. You've got this sort of standard marker, but it is pretty thick. And then you have a fat, wide version. I'll show you that one when I move on to it. This is the one I'm going to use to apply an outline around this entire yellow stripe. And basically all you do is you shake these up, press the tip against some paper, and it'll feed the tip with new ink and paint, I guess I should say, and then you can just draw. Alright, now before I get started with my marker outlines, I'm just going to knock down these sort of raised edges from where my tape was. Just wet sanding these down a little bit to smooth them out. Okay, so this is the fun part, and it's also another scary part, because once these lines go down, the only way they're going to come back off, if I don't like them, is if I paint back over them. And I really don't want to paint anything else on this car except for this and some clear coat. Now the cool part about this is I'm not really too concerned about these lines being super crisp and clean and straight, because I want this to have that sort of like hand sketched look, like it was in a comic book, like I've said 100 times already. So if my lines are too pristine and clean, it's really not going to achieve that look. So that's why I'm not too concerned about these lines being a little bit hand drawn. I just keep a little piece of cardboard here. That way I can compress my tip of my paint pen, just keeps it nice and full of paint. Alright, last step. I went ahead and added some little white highlights here and there, because I think that's really going to achieve that comic book look, because you can't just have all black lines. You gotta have little pops of white color in there, so that's what I did. So I think this thing really is giving off the comic book vibe. I think Joe's going to have to come up with some sort of like superhero or villain costume when he's driving this thing. Alright, so I'm about ready to move on to clear coat. I've never used this stuff before, but I've only heard good things. It It's finished one. You can find this at Sherwin-Williams or on Amazon, or probably at any vehicle paint shop. And we're not going to use that. So this is 4 parts clear to 1 part hardener. I've got my mixing cup here. Got my compressor ready to go. I got my gun here ready to go. I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to put it in the gun. I'm going to do a test blast on some paper hanging on the wall, and then we're going to do this. Okay? I'm a little nervous. I'm a lot sweaty, and I think it's going to go okay, but clear coat is always, for me, the most nerve-wracking part, because I've never used this stuff before, and the last time I did my car, I used 2K clear rattle cans, so this should be interesting. But it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Go ahead and remove the masking off. I already did the driver's side door. It's going to look really nice with this polished trim all around the windows and everywhere else, the bumpers, all this polished shiny stuff on top of the green shiny stuff. Alright, there goes KarmaGheddon.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah. See ya. Okay, don't forget to subscribe by clicking on the right there, and make sure you check out my other video on the left.